You think Christmas in the 1960s and 70s was just like today, only with less technology? Think again. These post-war decades delivered some of the most unusual, nostalgic, and downright shocking holiday traditions in American history. Let's dive into 25 Christmas memories from the 1960s and 70s that have completely vanished from modern life, taking a piece of American culture with them. Aluminum Christmas trees. Nothing screams 1960s holiday cheer quite like a shimmering, metallic Christmas tree that looked like it landed from outer space. These weren't your grandmother's evergreens. Aluminum Christmas trees exploded onto the American scene in 1958 and dominated living rooms throughout the 1960s, reaching peak popularity around 1965. Manufactured primarily by the Aluminum Specialty Company in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, these trees consisted of aluminum foil strips attached to paper-wrapped wire branches. Workers would cut aluminum foil into precise strips, then attach each piece to wire branches using paper wraps. The branches slotted into a central pole marked with color-coded holes. The aluminum surface was so reflective that traditional Christmas lights couldn't be used. The heat could cause fires or electric shocks. Instead, families used rotating color wheels, essentially spotlights with rotating colored gels that cast red, blue, green, and gold light onto the tree's surface, creating a hypnotic, ever-changing display. These trees represented the ultimate symbol of American post-war prosperity and technological optimism. They vanished almost overnight after the 1965 airing of A Charlie Brown Christmas, where the special denounced them as symbols of commercial excess. Real candles on Christmas trees. Before electric lights became affordable and ubiquitous, families across America balanced actual burning candles on evergreen branches, then stood back and prayed. This practice survived in rural American households well into the 1970s, particularly in immigrant communities maintaining old-world traditions. Families would attach small clip-on holders to sturdy branches, then carefully place thin taper candles into each holder. The candles were lit on Christmas Eve and sometimes Christmas Day, but never for more than 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Someone, usually Dad or Grandpa, stood nearby with a bucket of water or wet blanket, ready to extinguish any fires. Candles had to be positioned on the outer edges of branches, away from inner needles, and never directly above other candles where dripping wax could start a cascade of flames. When lit, the warm glow flickered through the needles, casting dancing shadows across walls while filling the room with the scent of pine, wax, and barely controlled danger. Fire departments across America hated this tradition and spent December running educational campaigns. By the mid-1970s, improved electric lights and increased awareness of fire hazards finally killed the practice. Door-to-door caroling. Before Ring doorbells made unexpected visitors seem threatening, groups of neighbors actually walked street to street singing Christmas songs at strangers' front doors, and people welcomed it. Caroling reached its American peak during the 1960s, when suburban neighborhoods fostered genuine community connections and unlocked front doors weren't unusual. Groups formed organically: church youth groups, scout troops, neighborhood families, and mapped out routes covering dozens of homes. Groups approached homes with lit windows and outdoor decorations, knocked or rang the bell, then launched immediately into familiar songs. Jingle Bells, Silent Night, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Performances lasted 3 to 5 songs unless homeowners clearly wanted them to continue. Homeowners often invited groups inside for cookies and cider, creating spontaneous social connections that strengthened neighborhood bonds. This tradition represented post-war suburban idealism at its peak, the belief that neighbors should know each other and that communities should gather for shared experiences. By the late 1970s, caroling declined sharply as suburban isolation increased and fear of strangers grew. Handmade paper chain garlands. In an era before Netflix and iPads, families spent December evenings at kitchen tables covered with construction paper, scissors, and paste, creating miles of interlocking paper loops. Paper chains represented the ultimate low-cost, high-involvement Christmas decoration that democratized holiday spirit across all economic classes. The tradition exploded in American popularity during the Great Depression, when store-bought decorations were unaffordable. The process was simple. Cut strips of colored construction paper, form loops, paste or staple ends together, thread the next strip through, repeat endlessly. What emerged were garlands stretching 20, 30, even 50 feet long. Mom or Dad cut the initial strips using rulers and scissors, producing neat stacks of red, green, white, gold, and silver paper. Older children formed loops and applied paste from small jars with rubber-tipped brushes, while younger kids threaded strips and pressed ends together. The paste smelled distinctive, a sweet, slightly chemical scent that became inseparably associated with Christmas preparation. These garlands embodied post-war values of thrift, industriousness, and family togetherness. Bubble lights on Christmas trees. These mesmerizing tubes of colored liquid that bubbled when heated represented cutting-edge Christmas technology and could transfix children for hours. Bubble lights emerged in 1946, invented by Carl Otis, and dominated American Christmas trees throughout the 1960s. Each light consisted of a narrow glass tube filled with methylene chloride, a low boiling point liquid, sealed above a standard Christmas bulb. When the bulb heated up, the liquid boiled and sent streams of colored bubbles rising through the tube in constant, hypnotic motion. Families would arrange them strategically throughout the tree, creating multiple columns of moving color that drew the eye and held attention like primitive lava lamps. The lights took several minutes to heat up after plugging in, and children would gather around watching impatiently for the first bubble to rise. Each tube contained different colored liquid: red, green, blue, gold, amber, and the bubbles caught and refracted the bulb light below, creating shimmering vertical streams. They represented the magic of chemistry and physics made visible, turning a static Christmas tree into a living, moving display that never looked the same twice. Tinsel made of real lead. Before anyone worried about lead poisoning, families draped their Christmas trees with genuine lead tinsel that hung perfectly straight and shimmered with metallic brilliance. Real lead tinsel, called icicles, dominated American Christmas trees from the 1930s through the early 1970s. Unlike modern plastic tinsel that tangles and clumps, lead tinsel had actual weight and structure. Each strand hung independently, creating a cascading waterfall effect that caught and reflected every light on the tree. Applying tinsel was an art form, requiring patience and precision. Families would drape individual strands over branch tips, spacing them carefully to create even coverage without clumping. The lead content meant each strand cost money, so families carefully removed and saved tinsel each year, storing it flat between sheets of tissue paper. Children were warned to handle it gently and never throw it in clumps. The lead gave tinsel its distinctive, straight-hanging quality and brilliant shine, but also made it genuinely toxic, especially for young children who might put strands in their mouths. By 1972, lead tinsel was banned in the United States due to health concerns. Christmas Club savings accounts. Before credit cards encouraged year-round spending, working-class families saved for Christmas through special bank accounts that locked their money away until November. Christmas clubs peaked in popularity during the 1960s, when approximately 10 million American families used them. The concept was simple but psychologically powerful. Starting in January, you deposited a fixed amount weekly or monthly into a special account that you couldn't access until mid-November. Banks promoted these aggressively, sending representatives to workplaces where they'd set up tables during lunch breaks, enrolling workers who authorized automatic payroll deductions. Typical deposits ranged from $2 to $10 weekly, accumulating to $100 to $500 by Christmas. Serious money when median household income was $6,000 annually. The accounts paid minimal or no interest, but that wasn't the point. They created forced discipline and prevented families from raiding holiday funds for everyday expenses. In mid-November, banks issued checks ceremonially, often accompanied by promotional materials and holiday catalogs. Families treated this money as sacred, reserved exclusively for gifts and decorations. Sears Wish Book arrivals. Before Amazon wish lists, American children eagerly awaited the arrival of the Sears Christmas Catalog, a 500-page tome of desires that defined childhood wanting. The Sears Wish Book landed in mailboxes each September, typically weighing over 2 pounds and featuring hundreds of pages of toys, electronics, clothing, and household goods. Children would immediately claim it, disappearing to their rooms to pore over every page, folding corners or circling items with pens. The toy section occupied the heart of the catalog, 50 to 100 pages of pure possibility showing the latest Barbie playsets, Hot Wheels tracks, baby dolls that drank and wet, model train sets, chemistry kits, and board games. Each item included detailed descriptions, multiple color photos, and prices that children could calculate and negotiate. Parents used the catalog strategically, telling children to mark their favorites, then secretly circling what they'd actually purchased. Families spent evenings gathered around the catalog, with kids presenting arguments for why they deserved particular toys. The catalog's arrival marked the official start of the Christmas season. By the 1990s, specialty toy stores and television advertising diminished the catalog's importance. Fruitcake, given as Christmas gifts. Dense, alcohol-soaked, and studded with candied fruit, fruitcake was genuinely given and received as a thoughtful holiday gift throughout the 1960s and 70s. Fruitcakes had centuries of tradition behind them. Medieval recipes evolved into rich desserts that improved with age and alcohol content. Commercial bakeries like Collins Street Bakery in Texas shipped millions of fruitcakes annually in decorative tins. The standard fruitcake weighed 3 to 5 pounds, contained candied cherries, pineapple, citrus peel, raisins, and pecans, held together with dense cake studded with spices, then soaked repeatedly with brandy or rum during aging. The preparation took weeks, baking, cooling, wrapping in cheesecloth, then applying alcohol every few days. A properly aged fruitcake could last months or even years. Giving fruitcake signaled thoughtfulness because of the preparation time and expense involved. Recipients displayed them on sideboards, slicing thin pieces to serve with coffee or afternoon tea. The alcohol content meant they weren't for children, giving fruitcake an adult sophistication. By the 1980s, fruitcake became America's most joked-about food, depicted as inedible bricks re-gifted endlessly. Flocking your own tree. Before pre-flocked artificial trees filled big-box stores, families transformed regular evergreens into snowy masterpieces using cans of spray-on flocking that turned living rooms into winter disaster zones. Flocking kits appeared in hardware stores each November, containing aerosol cans of white foam, applicator wands, and protective plastic sheeting. Families would set up their freshly cut tree, then spend an afternoon covering it with artificial snow. The process was messy and required preparation, laying sheets around the tree base, opening windows for ventilation, wearing old clothes that would be ruined. The flocking material came out thick and wet, smelling chemical and slightly sweet, sticking to needles in clumps that dried into a crusty, snow-like coating. Application required technique. Too much created heavy blobs. Too little looked patchy. You sprayed from different angles, rotated the tree, filled in gaps, creating layers that accumulated into genuine snow-like coverage. The material got everywhere: floors, walls, furniture, hair, and lungs. But the result was magical. A tree that looked like it had been pulled straight from a snow-covered forest and placed in your living room. Department store holiday window displays. Before online shopping, downtown department stores transformed their street-level windows into elaborate animated scenes that drew crowds of families pressing their noses against cold glass. Major retailers like Macy's, Marshall Field's, Hudson's, and regional chains competed to create the most spectacular displays, investing thousands of dollars in mechanical figures, miniature villages, and theatrical lighting. Starting in early November, stores unveiled new scenes behind temporarily covered windows, building anticipation through newspaper advertisements and radio announcements. The windows told stories: Santa's workshop with elves hammering toys, Victorian Christmas scenes with families gathered around fires, fantasy landscapes with animated animals, recreations of classic holiday tales. Mechanical figures moved through repetitive loops powered by motors and pulleys. Mrs. Claus stirring a pot, toy soldiers marching, children opening gifts, trains circling tracks. Families made evening excursions downtown specifically to view window displays, walking from store to store, comparing scenes, debating which was best. Children stood transfixed, watching the same mechanical sequence repeat, counting details, inventing narratives. The displays represented civic pride and commercial artistry combined. By the 1980s, mall culture and declining downtowns killed most display traditions. Christmas corsages for women. During the 1960s and 70s, well-dressed women wore small floral arrangements pinned to their coats, dresses, and suit jackets throughout December, making holiday gatherings look like portable gardens. Christmas corsages weren't new. They dated to Victorian times, but they peaked in American popularity during the post-war decades when formal dressing was standard for church, parties, shopping, and restaurant dining. Florists created specific Christmas designs: small pine bough clusters tied with red ribbon, single poinsettia blooms backed with greenery, miniature arrangements of holly berries and white carnations, or simple red roses with silver bells. Women ordered corsages for specific events or purchased weekly varieties to rotate through the season. The corsage was pinned to the left shoulder or lapel using a long straight pin pushed through stems and fabric. Wearing one signaled effort, femininity, and holiday spirit. Husbands gave corsages as small romantic gestures. Hostesses provided them for party guests. Church ladies coordinated colors for Christmas programs. The flowers lasted 1 to 3 days before wilting, creating a temporary but visible commitment to seasonal celebration. By the 1980s, casual fashion and changing gender roles made corsages seem old-fashioned and fussy. Toy commercials during Saturday morning. Before streaming and DVRs, American children sat captive before televisions every Saturday morning, absorbing relentless toy advertising designed with quasi-hypnotic precision. Saturday morning cartoon blocks ran from 7 a.m. to noon, and networks packed every commercial break with toy ads from September through December. Major manufacturers like Mattel, Hasbro, and Kenner spent millions on elaborate 30-second spots that made products look impossibly exciting. The commercials used specific techniques: fast cuts, excited children's voices, dramatic announcer narration, close-ups of features and functions, fantasy scenarios showing toys in ideal play conditions. G.I. Joe fought jungle battles, Barbie attended glamorous parties, Hot Wheels raced through elaborate track configurations, board games created family fun. Children absorbed these messages with no critical filter, no ability to pause or skip, no parental controls. The ads directly shaped Christmas wish lists and created intense desire for specific branded items. Parents complained about manipulation and pester power, but networks and manufacturers argued they were simply informing consumers. The commercials taught brand loyalty young and created generational product lines. Modern restrictions on children's advertising and fragmented media have ended the era of captive Saturday morning audiences. Sending Christmas cards to everyone in the neighborhood. Before Facebook posts replaced personal communication, families addressed and mailed Christmas cards to every person they'd interacted with during the year, creating massive stacks of holiday correspondence. The Christmas card tradition reached peak American participation during the 1960s, when middle-class families routinely sent 50 to 150 cards annually. Starting in early December, families assembled at dining room tables with boxes of cards, address books, stamps, and pens. Mom typically handled addressing, while Dad signed names and children helped stamp and seal. Card selection was significant. Religious families chose nativity scenes. Modern families preferred abstract designs or humorous cartoons. Photo cards showed family portraits. Each card was hand-addressed, signed individually with personal notes for close friends and family, then stamped and mailed. The process took multiple evenings. Cards arrived daily throughout December, and families displayed them prominently, strung along mantels with ribbon, clipped to decorative holders, arranged on side tables. The number of cards you received publicly demonstrated your social standing and relationship network. By the 1990s, rising postage costs, busy schedules, and email began killing the tradition. Today, most families send fewer than 20 cards, if any. Christmas seals on letters and packages. Small decorative stamps featuring holiday designs covered letters and packages each December, serving as both decoration and charitable donation to fight tuberculosis. Christmas seals were issued annually by the American Lung Association, originally the National Tuberculosis Association, starting in 1907, but reached peak popularity during the 1960s and 70s. The seals weren't postage, they were colorful stickers purchased in sheets, with proceeds funding TB research and treatment. Designs changed yearly, featuring religious scenes, winter landscapes, Santa imagery, or children playing. Families purchased sheets in November, then applied seals to every piece of outgoing holiday mail. Letters, cards, packages, often using multiple seals per item, creating decorative borders. The seals cost pennies each, making charitable giving accessible to everyone. Children loved applying them, often adding seals randomly to envelopes in crooked, overlapping patterns. Receiving mail decorated with Christmas seals was common. It signaled the sender cared enough to add extra effort and contribute to a good cause. The tradition declined as mail volume dropped and awareness of tuberculosis as a major threat faded. Modern Americans barely remember Christmas seals existed. Blue laws closing most stores on Christmas Eve. Before 24/7 commerce, strict blue laws mandated that most retail stores close by noon on Christmas Eve, forcing families to finish preparations early and spend the afternoon together. Blue laws dated to Puritan times, but survived robustly through the 1970s in many states, restricting Sunday and holiday commerce to protect religious observance and worker rest. On Christmas Eve, most states required stores to close between noon and 3 p.m., with only essential services like gas stations and pharmacies allowed limited hours. This created a hard deadline for shopping, wrapping, and preparations. Families rushed through stores on Christmas Eve morning, grabbing forgotten items, waiting in long checkout lines filled with other procrastinators. But by early afternoon, commerce stopped completely. Downtown streets emptied. Shopping centers closed. Families went home because there was literally nothing else to do. This forced proximity created traditions: afternoon cookie baking, present wrapping sessions, family dinners, church services attended because stores offered no alternative. Workers got guaranteed time off without having to negotiate. By the 1980s and 90s, blue laws were systematically repealed as retail lobbying intensified. Today, stores stay open until 6 p.m. or later on Christmas Eve, and the forced family time has vanished. Cash bonuses in small envelopes. Before electronic deposits and corporate gift cards, employers handed workers small envelopes containing actual cash as Christmas bonuses, making appreciation literally tangible. The Christmas bonus tradition peaked during the 1960s and 70s, when even modest employers provided year-end gifts. Bosses distributed envelopes personally during the final week before Christmas, often accompanied by handshakes and brief personal conversations. Bonuses varied wildly. Hourly workers might receive $25 to $100. Salaried employees got 1 week's pay or more. Executives received months of salary. The cash came in crisp bills, sometimes with a printed card or handwritten note. Workers opened envelopes privately, counted the bills, then made immediate plans for spending. The cash felt real in ways modern direct deposits never do. You could hold it, count it, decide exactly how to use it. Many families used bonuses for specific purposes: paying holiday bills, buying extra gifts, funding travel to visit relatives, purchasing luxury food items. The physical envelope and cash created a ceremonial moment that acknowledged work and rewarded loyalty. Modern HR practices, electronic payments, and corporate standardization have replaced personal cash bonuses with impersonal profit-sharing deposits. Mandatory office Christmas parties. Before HR departments worried about liability, company Christmas parties were genuinely mandatory, with attendance tracked and careers potentially affected by non-participation. Office Christmas parties during the 1960s and 70s were command performances combining social obligation with professional networking and employer paternalism. Companies hosted parties at restaurants, banquet halls, or in cleared office spaces, typically on Friday evenings in mid-December. Attendance was officially voluntary, but practically required. Managers noted who skipped, and absence suggested lack of company loyalty. Parties featured catered dinners, open bars with unlimited alcohol, dancing to live bands or DJs, games and contests, gift exchanges, and speeches from executives. Dress codes were formal. Men wore suits, women wore cocktail dresses or dressy pantsuits. The events mixed genuine fun with professional anxiety. Workers had to balance relaxation with maintaining appropriate professional boundaries. The open bars created legendary stories of drunken behavior, inappropriate comments, and career-limiting mistakes. Spouses attended and were evaluated by management. Children were never invited. These parties represented the company's role as extended family and social organizer. Modern concerns about harassment, drinking, and work-life boundaries have transformed company parties into optional, carefully managed events. Cigarettes given as holiday gifts. Before smoking's health consequences became undeniable, cartons of cigarettes were respectable, even thoughtful Christmas gifts exchanged between adults without irony or concern. During the 1960s and 70s, when roughly 40% of American adults smoked, cigarettes occupied prominent space in holiday gift-giving culture. Cartons came in special holiday wrapping, red and green cellophane, decorative boxes with seasonal designs, gift sets combining cigarettes with matching lighters or ashtrays. Department stores featured cigarette displays in gift sections. Husbands gave wives their preferred brands. Bosses gave employees cartons as bonuses. Friends exchanged brands they knew each other enjoyed. Premium brands like Marlboro, Winston, and Pall Mall were considered more thoughtful than generic brands. The gifts acknowledged adult habits and preferences without judgment. Cigarette advertising saturated Christmas media. Magazine ads showed elegantly dressed couples sharing cigarettes beside Christmas trees. Television commercials featured Santa recommending specific brands. Social acceptance was so complete that non-smokers gave cigarettes to smokers without considering it controversial. The 1970s brought increasing health awareness, Surgeon General warnings, and cultural shift. By the 1990s, giving cigarettes as gifts seemed bizarre and inappropriate. Today, it's nearly unthinkable.
Tinsel Garlands. Tinsel garlands once embodied the sparkle of Christmas, draping trees in strands of glimmering metallic foil. Introduced as a holiday staple during the 1950s, these shiny strips captured the glow of tree lights, imitating the icy beauty of winter. Tinsel added a touch of glamour, and for many families it was the finishing touch that made their Christmas trees truly shine. However, their environmental impact and the hassle of cleanup eventually led to their decline. Tangled tinsel often clogged vacuums or posed risks to pets. Beyond their practical challenges, tinsel garlands held a certain magic, each strand catching the light like frost on a winter morning. Children often loved helping drape tinsel, creating cherished memories of family togetherness. Though eco-friendly alternatives have taken their place today, the glittering charm of tinsel garlands still evokes memories of trees dressed in shimmering silver from top to bottom, and of a time when holiday decorating felt like an art form, with every sparkle telling a story of Christmas past. Bubble lights. Bubble lights brought a mesmerizing glow to Christmas trees in the 1940s and 1950s, becoming iconic staples of mid-century holiday decor. These colorful bulbs, filled with liquid that bubbled when heated, transformed ordinary trees into vibrant displays of light and motion. Watching the bubbles rise was like peering into a tiny, magical world, a simple joy that captivated children and adults alike. Their metallic finishes enhanced the effect, casting shimmering reflections that filled rooms with a warm, enchanting ambiance. Beyond their beauty, bubble lights symbolized the innovative spirit of the post-war era, when even holiday decorations became a canvas for creativity. However, concerns over safety and their tendency to overheat led to their decline, eventually being replaced by modern LED options. For those who grew up with them, bubble lights remain a nostalgic reminder of Christmases filled with charm, wonder, and a touch of magic. Putz Villages. Putz Villages, miniature holiday scenes crafted from paper, cardboard, or plaster, transformed homes into magical storybook worlds brimming with charm and creativity. Rooted in Moravian traditions, these whimsical displays gained popularity in early 20th century America, especially among Pennsylvania Dutch communities. Families would eagerly expand their displays year after year, adding tiny houses, churches, animals, and snowy landscapes that brought an enchanting holiday spirit to life. These meticulously crafted villages often nestled beneath Christmas trees or adorned mantels, captivating the imagination of both children and adults alike. Each piece told its own story, creating a festive tableau that felt like stepping into a winter fairy tale. Although modern ceramic villages now dominate holiday decor, the original Putz Villages evoke a profound sense of nostalgia for a time when the holidays were all about handmade artistry and the joy of simple pleasures. Feather trees. Feather trees, first crafted in 19th century Germany, were an ingenious and eco-friendly alternative to real evergreens, offering a solution to the deforestation concerns of the era. Made from dyed goose feathers meticulously attached to wire branches, these trees had a sparse yet elegant charm that showcased the artistry behind their creation. Their minimalist style became a canvas for displaying intricate handcrafted ornaments, embodying a simpler, more thoughtful approach to holiday decor. By the early 20th century, feather trees had made their way to America, where they became a beloved centerpiece in many homes, symbolizing both tradition and innovation. Each branch, carefully spaced and arranged, was ideal for hanging treasured decorations without overcrowding. Although eventually replaced by plastic artificial trees, feather trees still captivate collectors and history enthusiasts with their unique beauty and connection to European heritage. For many, these delicate trees evoke a sense of nostalgia, recalling holidays filled with creativity, warmth, and timeless traditions. Angel hair. Angel hair was a unique and delicate Christmas decoration made from spun glass, prized for its shimmering, ethereal quality. Often draped over Christmas trees, nativity scenes, and mantle displays, it added an enchanting, otherworldly charm to holiday decor. Popular in the 1940s and 1950s, angel hair became a staple in many homes, embodying the dreamy aesthetic of mid-century holiday celebrations. Its fine, wispy strands seemed to capture the glow of Christmas lights, creating a magical ambiance that felt almost celestial. However, the decoration came with a downside. Its itchy, fibrous texture could irritate the skin, and safety concerns arose due to its fragility and potential fire hazard when placed near hot bulbs or candles. Despite these challenges, angel hair remains a nostalgic memory for those who grew up during its heyday, evoking warm recollections of glittering trees and glowing hearths. Its distinctive, cloud-like appearance gave every holiday display a touch of vintage elegance, a reminder of a simpler, more enchanting era of Christmas traditions. Holiday train sets. Holiday train sets were a magical part of Christmas for many families. These elaborate displays featured miniature trains, detailed landscapes, and sometimes even miniature towns. Setting up the train and watching it chug around the Christmas tree was a highlight of the holiday season. Train sets were often more than just toys. They were a way to create a festive environment and bring the holiday spirit to life. Families would spend time setting up the tracks, decorating the surroundings, and marveling at the intricate details of the train set. For many, it was a family tradition that brought everyone together. Today, while video games and high-tech gadgets have taken over, the charm of a holiday train set remains a nostalgic reminder of simpler times. The joy of setting up and watching a train run around the tree is a memory that many still cherish, and there is a renewed interest in these classic toys as part of holiday decorations. Cornucopia tree decorations. Cornucopia-shaped ornaments were a unique and cherished addition to Christmas trees during the 1940s and 1950s. These decorations, shaped like miniature horns of plenty, symbolized abundance, gratitude, and the hope for prosperity in the coming year. Often crafted from materials like papier-mâché, foil, or tin, they were as practical as they were decorative. Families would fill them with small treats, nuts, or candies, creating a delightful surprise for children eager to explore the tree. Their interactive nature made them a favorite among youngsters, adding a touch of playful anticipation to holiday festivities. Although these ornaments have largely disappeared from modern celebrations, their charm endures as a nostalgic reminder of an era when holiday traditions were centered on togetherness, generosity, and simple joys. Celluloid Santa figures. Celluloid Santa figures, crafted from early lightweight plastic, were once festive staples that defined holiday decor in the early 20th century. Brightly colored in hues of red, green, and white, these cheerful figures brought a magical touch to mantels, windowsills, and tree branches. Each Santa was carefully molded, capturing his jolly expression and whimsical charm, evoking a sense of wonder that made Christmas feel extra special. However, the material's flammability and its tendency to crack over time led to their decline in favor of more durable alternatives. Despite this, these vintage figures remain highly prized by collectors today. Their nostalgic appeal connects us to a simpler time, when holiday decorations were crafted with a sense of craftsmanship and warmth. As rare relics of the past, they not only evoke fond memories but also serve as a reminder of how Christmas traditions have evolved. Tinsel Icicles. Tinsel icicles were a delicate and shimmering addition to Christmas trees during the mid-20th century. These lightweight silver or metallic strands were draped over branches, designed to mimic the look of real icicles, enhancing the tree's sparkle and charm. Their reflective properties caught the light from Christmas tree bulbs, creating a twinkling, almost ethereal effect. Common in homes during the 1950s and 1960s, tinsel icicles were often carefully hung by hand, a labor of love that added an extra layer of festivity to the holiday season. The strands of tinsel would glisten, evoking the serene beauty of a snowy winter landscape. Though they've been replaced by more modern, low-maintenance materials, their nostalgic appeal endures. Today, they are a beloved relic of Christmases past, reminding us of a simpler, more magical holiday season. Blown glass animal ornaments. Blown glass animal ornaments were a whimsical and enchanting addition to Christmas trees in the 1950s and 1960s, capturing the hearts of families with their delicate craftsmanship. These ornaments featured an array of animals ranging from elegant birds to playful deer, all meticulously crafted with intricate details that made them stand out. Their vibrant colors and lifelike designs added a touch of nature and charm to holiday decor, sparking joy in both children and adults. Whether perched on a tree branch or nestled among twinkling lights, they brought a sense of warmth and wonder to the season. As Christmas traditions evolved, these ornaments became rarer, but they still hold a special place in the hearts of those who recall their unique beauty. Today, they remain a nostalgic reminder of a time when holiday decorations were not only about festivity, but also about the artistry and creativity that defined mid-century Christmas celebrations. For collectors, finding one of these vintage treasures feels like uncovering a piece of history, reviving cherished memories of Christmases gone by.